All right, it's time to get started. So the first thing I need to do to begin this project, which I'm calling 11 months and 4 days, is decide where and when I will be performing and recording John Cage's composed improvisation for snare drum for the month of October. So first things first, I've got a handy dandy little bowl here with some different locations written down on pieces of paper. And I've pulled it out here. I will be performing this month on my deck here at home. So, nice outdoor recording. Hopefully Cage would have liked that. Next, I need to decide when I will be performing in the month of October. So I have a random number generator over here on my computer, and drum roll please. The generator is telling me that I will be performing the piece on October 21st. Okay, so as it says in the description, on October 21st, I will perform and record this month's version of composed improvisation. A few days ahead of time, I will do the chance procedures to construct this month's version of the piece, and just like this video, I will post a video of those procedures online, so if you're interested, you can watch. And then on the 21st, I'll perform it, record it, and hopefully have it posted by that evening. All right, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. All right, today is October 16th, 2018, and I will be carrying out the chance procedures with which to construct the version or the edition of Composed Improvisation for Snare Drum Alone, which I will be performing and recording and hopefully posting on October 21st. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, I'm going to show you my work station here to show how I'm using chance operations today. All right, so today I'm going mostly analog and old school, even though the piece is not that old. But I've written down the timestamps onto pieces of paper, a couple of numbers for the events on pieces of paper, which I'll use my handy dandy bowl here. Plus, also, there'll be a couple of times that I go with flipping the coin. But the 2 times that I have to go with 1 to 64, I am using a random number generator over here. So the first thing I have to do is figure out the structure for this performance. The piece is always 8 minutes long. You can do a longer version. There's some instructions for that in the back, and it's also always 3 movements. So following the directions here, which the directions are at times both very specific and also slightly vague. So as I grow with this piece, I might grow in my understanding of these descriptions. So the first 2 timestamps I've pulled out are 3 and 6:45. So 3 minutes, 0 seconds, and 6 minutes, 45 seconds. So now I have to pull out 2 more. The first one I pull, well, the lowest number I pull out cannot be below 3. So it's got to be, both of these numbers have to be greater than 3 minutes. So 3:15 or more is what I'm looking for. If I don't get that, I have to toss it. So the 2 I've pulled are 4 minutes and 3:45. Okay, so that'll actually work for us. 3:45, if I can write, and 4. So what that does is these 2 brackets are going to create the length of the second movement. Now this is actually where this first version is going to be kind of interesting, as this breaks from the mold actually of how this is written. I said it's a little ambiguous. The second movement can start anywhere between 3 and 6:45 and end anywhere between 3:45 and 4 minutes. So obviously I can't travel back in time. This will probably be somewhere between 3 minutes, between the 3-minute mark and the 4-minute mark. The first movement will be 00 to 3. And the third movement, if I'm following the chart perfectly accurately here as this has it, the third movement will be from the 4-minute mark to the 8-minute mark. Now this will be something interesting. This is how I'm interpreting this. Now if someone else interprets this that I don't use these as brackets, but instead I should be putting them in order from left to right, 3, 345, 4, and 645, and doing it that way. This is maybe something that will evolve as my understanding of this piece continues. But for now, this first performance I will do. Movement 1 will be 3 minutes. Movement 2 will be somewhere between the 3-minute mark and the 4-minute mark. The third movement will be the 4-minute mark until the end 8 minutes. The next set of chance procedures is to see how many events will happen within each movement. Now, obviously, that second movement is only 1 minute long. I'm hoping there will be a whole lot of events. But I've got, again, my bowl here, and I'll be choosing 1 through 8. So the first movement will have 6 events. The second movement, let's hope for a low number here, will have, that was completely random, I swear, 1 event. Okay, so that's going to have 1. And the final movement will have 3 events. And finally, now it's time for the really fun details, how I'm going to strike the drum, and some other things as to how the drum is going to sound. So first thing is that with any performance you have to come up with 8 different variations, and so for this the ones I've chosen, I've posted a picture along with this on Instagram, is number 1 is snare drum stick, 2 brush, 3 hot rod, 4 a felt timpani mallet, 5 a soft marimba mallet, 6 a xylophone mallet, 7 a thin triangle beater, 8 one of these super rub mallets, and then of course there's the possibility for air and also your hands. Now this is also, I have to use the random generator here in order to figure this out, and so for each one of these events, not only do I figure out how many times I'm going to strike, or no more than, no less than, which of these I will be using. Okay, so for the first event, I will be doing number 41. That is, 6, 6. So that's a xylophone mallet in both hands. Event number 2 will be number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 1, 6. So that'll be a snare drum stick in my left hand and a xylophone mallet in my right hand. The third event will be number 51, so 48, 49, 50, 51. That will be H3, so using a hand, using my left hand, and then using a hot rod in my right hand. The fourth event, this is still movement 1, is number 28. So that's 32, 31, 30, 4-7. So that will be a timpani mallet in my left hand and the triangle beater in my right hand. Number 5 is going to be number 29. That is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 8. I guess I just forgot which one I did. So that's felt timpani mallet and then the super rub mallet in my right hand. And the final event of movement 1 will be 31. So that is H5. H5 is hand and then a soft marimba mallet in my right hand. The second movement, again, only 1 event. This is going to be number 19. So 16, 17, 18, 19 is 3, 5. That's a hot rod in my left hand and a marimba mallet in my right hand. 3 events in the third movement. So that will be number 20 for 3, 2, 1, 0. That's 3, 6. That will be a hot rod in my left hand, a xylophone mallet in my right hand. The second event is number 58. Yay! This is the air! All right, so be ready for that. The second event in movement 3 will just be air on the drum. I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do that, especially since it's going to be outdoors. The final one is 60. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. This is H8. So that will be using my left hand and using the super rub mallet in my right hand. Now that only came up with using the snare drum stick once in one hand, but as a reminder, if you've ever read this, there is supposed to be one big flam rim shot with both sticks at some point in the piece. Again, random and obnoxious for that one. Last thing I want to do is for each movement decide, actually two more things, excuse me, snares on or off. So let's do heads as the snares, let's go opposite. Let's do the head is snares off and the tail is snares on. So movement 1, the snares will be on. I got tails, so snares on. Movement 2, they'll be off. And movement 3, they will remain off. So snares on for the first movement, snares off for the last two movements. And finally, it will be outdoors. I don't want my neighbors to totally hate me. We'll see if fate feels the same way. Let's see if I'm going to use a towel on the head at all to kind of muffle it. So let's do heads for no, tails for yes. Movement 1, that's tails, so yes, I'm going to use a towel. So let's see, am I going to cover it full or only half? That was a really bad, I'm glad you all caught that. I'll use a half towel on the first movement. The second movement, that is going to be, yes, I'm using towel again for the second movement. And again, using half towel. The third movement, yes, I'm still, so I'm going to use the, hey, guess what? Fate does like my neighbors. I'm going to have a towel on the head for every movement. And that's tail. So half towel. So I'll have the towel covering half of the snare on all three movements. Snares on for the first, snares off for the last two, and then you can go back and watch all the different events, how I'm striking, how many times I'm striking. So now here's the point of me posting this less than a week ahead of time, is I will admit in previous iterations of this, I performed it twice. I have prepared the piece well in advance and then practiced. And the problem with that is the piece is supposed to be a true improvisation. So I didn't want to give myself an opportunity to practice what I would be playing. What I will do over the next week is I will practice the changes. So practice the mount and stick changes, the snare changes. Obviously I don't have to worry about the towel. It's going to stay the same the entire time. And then how I kind of count out and think about the different ikti. But I'm not going to practice any of the playing because I don't want that to influence the performance. I want the performance to be a true improvisation. So check back in. I really hope you enjoyed this month's performance.